Welcome to the Everton Daily Live. Today's episode is brought to you by Think. We all know not to drink and drive, but drug driving is just as dangerous. Drugs mess with your reaction times, your focus, and can stay in your system for a few days. So even if you think you're fine, your mind and body will say otherwise. Police now do more roadside drug swabs than ever before. One quick test, and if it's positive, you're facing a 12-month driving ban. A criminal record and unlimited fine that stays on your licence for 11 years and could cost you your job, your insurance, and even your right to travel abroad. So be smart, make a plan, skip the risk. Get a cab, crash at your mates, or hand over your keys before the night even starts. Think. Don't put drugs in the driving seat.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Think. It's Thursday, the 4th of December. 3 weeks to Christmas Day. Just hit me that second then. God, I better get a move on. We're asking the question today because obviously Everton are faced with huge selection problems at the weekend. David Moyes is a bit sort of vague with whether Michael Keane is going to be available or not. His comment that we don't know how long he's going to be out for doesn't fill me with any sort of confidence that he's going to be in the squad at the weekend. So if that's the case, then really the manager's down to two.
Really?
He's down to two picks, isn't he? Which is either Nathan Patterson at right back and Garner back in midfield, or Dwight McNeil in midfield. I know Dwight McNeil played in midfield at Fulham under Sean Dyche, if you remember. He drew 0-0.
We did.
But he's done all right. But in general,
You say so.
if he's played in midfield, he's more being the free man off the striker, hasn't he? And I can't see him playing off the striker and having Alcaraz as the holding midfielder.
No.
It just doesn't.
No, that sounds crazy.
No, it sounds mad.
Sounds crazy.
So, what are you thinking?
I'm not even being like that. Sounds mad, doesn't it? It just sounds. It just sounds. Yeah, it doesn't. That having Carlos Alcaraz as a proper centre midfielder doesn't really make any sense. Having Dwight McNeil as a proper centre midfielder doesn't make sense. Having James Garner makes sense, and Nathan Patterson actually playing in his real position makes sense. Whether he's fit enough is another option, isn't it? It's another thing. Sorry, whether he can get through the game. Now that might be a case of Everton just having to reshuffle during the game, or just seeing how long Nathan Patterson can get through the game. And maybe, we saw him training last. I think he was training last Thursday, so they put the pictures out Friday, didn't he? But that would have been the day before. So we will have had a good week's training. Everton have to cope the best they can. Can they get to a situation where they can cope? He can cope. You just have to play by ear during the game. Maybe they just look to have one of the young lads one of the young centre backs on the bench, maybe, and if it didn't go to plan, that maybe bring them on at right back. No, I wouldn't bring them on at centre back. I'd bring them on at right back.
Reece Welsh,
someone like that, because I think that. Yeah, but I think that's a lot easier of a job to do. Match someone pace for pace rather than have to be physical against a centre forward. The lad who scored last night for them, decent in the air. So I think for me that makes more sense. We are very limited. We are like really down to the bones, aren't we? And obviously, once we get past this game, then players have a little bit more time. There's a week to the next game, and then there's a week to the next game, and then obviously it picks up again for the week between Christmas and New Year and afterwards. So I'd go for Nathan Patterson personally. I think that just makes more sense. He's a player who'll be playing in his own position.
Yeah, it's tricky. Is the answer, because it's almost Hobson's choice for Moyes, because what you do with neither of these players would be considered if we had our full bench.
No.
It'd take a lot for either of them to get on the pitch with a full bench, but we haven't got a full bench. The week later at Chelsea, we'll have two centre midfield players available again. In Tim Abuna and Adrissa Garner Gay, and then obviously Garner will go again. Patterson looks like he's coming to the end of his Everton career anyway. Dwight McNeil looks like he's coming to the end of his Everton career, it seems.
Yeah.
So it is a case of just trying to get through this game. You could even, I guess, start Patterson, and after an hour or so, if he is starting to tire, then bring Dwight on and push Garner back to right back. Then
Yeah, you could do that, yeah.
To shore that up, it might be depending on how the game's going. But what I would say about Dwight McNeil is he did start as a centre midfield player. He just wasn't quick enough, which is why he got moved out to the side, which is odd.
Which is odd, isn't it? Yeah.
You should be more mobile wide. But I don't know. I just think I look at it and just think James Garner's obviously more suited to playing centre midfield. I guess it's just a risk.
Yeah.
It's what the manager looks at as more of a risk.
Yeah.
Does he look at Patterson and go, yeah, you'll get up and down.
Yeah.
You know, you're athletic. Or does he look at McNeil and go, well, you're sort of more clued into what we need in that position, and you've played a lot more. You know, Patterson's never really fit. But then Nathan Patterson came in and played left back against Arsenal last season and played well.
Yeah.
You know, and just done it for the one game. He's only in for the one game, but he had a good 70 minutes and done a job for us at a time when they were beating a lot of teams, and we ended up drawing 1-1. So he'd also have Illy in front of him, who works hard as well. So it'd be an interesting. It's just a difficult choice, isn't it? Because it's.
I think it just makes more sense to play a player who plays in that actual position. That to me makes more sense. I just think the midfield's going to be difficult. They've got a decent midfield. It's not amazing, but it's got energy in it. I just think that
Gibbs White limped off last night, so I'm hoping he's out.
So to me, it just makes more sense to play Patterson and just say, go out, that's your job. It's your job, man. It's your job to play right back. You want to be, you know, if you want to be considered, you want to have any future at the club or whatever, then, you know, this is what you've got to do. Being out injured, he's back fit now. Let's see what you can do.
He's on last chance saloon, isn't he? The both of them are. Even though I think it's probably too far gone for both of them to get back into an Everton side.
Yeah.
It is an opportunity to just remind the manager that what you've got. I'll tell you what's a very, very interesting one is Danny's just said it.
Not playing 4-4-2.
No.
Okay.
No. It's an interesting one. It says afternoon blue. Danny Church, this is YouTube member, says afternoon blues. This sounds stupid, but I'd let Garner take the yellow card this Saturday.
Oh yeah.
And miss the Chelsea game so that when Idrissa goes, he's not missing any games with a booking because we'll have 2 back for Chelsea. I don't know whether you can. I don't know. Do you think like that, or do you think? See, I don't know. I don't know when the cut-off is.
19 games.
Is it the halfway?
Yeah.
He's not getting through all of these games without getting the booking, I don't think, is he?
He's not, but you can't sort of.
Some clubs do that, though. They plan, don't they?
They do, but also Chelsea are only 3 points ahead of us. So,
and looking at them last night, no reason why we can't get a result at Stamford. In fact, no reason we can't beat them at Stamford Bridge. Getting beat by Leeds like that, it's embarrassing. So, you know, and that Maresca's shocking. So
there's.
Mark Watkinson says there shouldn't be a choice. Patterson is a right back and has pace, and that's what we're lacking.
Yeah, as I've said, I'd go with the only thing for Patterson to me is how long he plays. But then you can restructure it out when you're playing the game, can't you? You can have backup plans for while he's playing the game. There's no issue there. As I said, you've got youngsters on the bench. Can't one of them come onto the pitch and play right back? I actually think right back's it's not right to say it's an easy position to play in, but it's for someone who's right-footed, they should be able to adjust to play at right back. if they're if they've got a good mentality and they're a good footballer. It's a position where you can, of course, there are like things of like holding the line and things like that. You've got to be aware of stuff like that. You can't get caught behind the centre backs. You know, you work on that all the time. So that is one of those things. But
what about what Chris has just said? Another YouTube member says, could we keep the defence as it is and play Dewsbury all sitting, which is where he's, you know, with Charlie, play Grealish ahead of them, because Jack Grealish can play in the 8th, then play Dibbling and Jack, and go, this is us. Because Jack Grealish,
you could, but
I remember hearing he was going to play in the number 10 for us.
You can, but then that's I feel like that's a lot of moving parts where basically this is only one thing. You're swapping Garner over with into midfield and putting a right back at right back, which it's a bold move.
Stoic Led Life says, I never want to see McNeil come on for us again. The lad has no future at the club whatsoever and isn't good enough.
Well,
the thing with Dwight is, if you get him on one of those, now a few people have said, why would you play McNeil when Dyche is there? As if he's going to try against his daddy. A few people, you know, but then wouldn't he try even harder to make Dyche want to buy him in January or whatever? Dwight McNeil, if you can get him right on the day, he's got a nice left foot.
At the end of the day,
the problem is,
we've got a squad of players and we're down to the bare bones, and this is what happens, isn't it? People have got to be ready. I remember when we went to Burnley a couple of years back, and we had suspensions, and it was Ben Godfrey and Michael Keane were going to have to play. And
play 3 at the back.
We played, we won the game 2-0.
And we were brilliant.
Very, very comfortable. And we got through it, and they did it, because that's what professional footballers have got to do. They can sit on the bench all year, and when they're asked to come on and do the job, they've got to do the job.
What about when we went to Chelsea under Rafa Benitez? And we had a scratch team out, basically, didn't we? We had loads of John Joe Kenny come in and play. Branthwaite, who wasn't in the team, played that night and scored. And Ellis Sims, Lewis Dobbin was up, and we ended up getting a 1-1 and done all right, actually. So when you're coming in to do a job for a specific game, you're right that they train every day to play games of football. Now, we can sit here and go, McNeil's good enough, or McNeil isn't, whatever. Patterson's good enough, or he's not good enough. You know, in the squad right now. Sam McGuinness says McNeil is slow and has 1 foot, and that's a big issue. Tazul says the people hate McNeil so much that they prefer Patterson to start. Well, why would you, nothing against Dwight, but why would you prefer McNeil to start and not Patterson, Tazul? Just out of interest.
Well, Dwight would be playing out of position, and I think that straight away is an alarm bell. He'd be playing out of position, and I guarantee after 5 minutes, when you're watching him run that way, chasing a Forest player, you're going to say to yourself, why are we playing McNeil?
James Graham, YouTube member, says McNeil's just strolled around in his last 2 starts. He's only a last resort for me.
He's not. He's just, you watch him, and you don't ever think. I've certainly never thought this, but he doesn't scream like Premier League player, like, does he? As in, like, getting mobility wise. You're playing you're playing Hill Dickinson. The pitch is massive, and you want to play him in centre midfield. I just don't see it. But then again, the manager's had all week to maybe come up with a plan if that's what he thinks. But then, I don't know.
I just feel like Dwight knows his time's up, and therefore he's just not going through the motions. I would never accuse a footballer of doing that, but maybe he just hasn't got that extra bit between his teeth right now. But this might be the opportunity for him to get it. It's a rare opportunity of a start. But I do get what you're saying. You play a player in a position where he plays, so surely that's a better
He's
fit.
He's a player who has a ceiling. And I think when he was playing in the team, when he was almost like first choice, he was playing in the position he wanted to play in. The team was pretty slow. We know he's got an absolutely wonderful left foot. He is special teams. Let's get it right.
Yeah.
There's no issue with that. If you could just bring someone on to take corners and free kicks,
oh my God,
he'd be absolutely the player he wants. But he can't, he's not fast enough, and he's so one-footed that it limits you, and that's not being horrible. That's not me being horrible about a footballer. I just think Everton wants, and David Moyes clearly wants to get above that level, because that is a level where we have been in the last few years, and he stood out as being one of our best players. David Moyes wants to take us so far away from that level. And it's starting to show. It's starting to show with better footballers. We've got better footballers. We're trying to play better football, and we want to play quicker. And even with the better players, we're still nowhere near amazing as a team. And you've got to have a. This is like the next thing for Everton. Is like the bench has to be. Oh, there's a player out. Oh, so and so's coming in. No issue, no pain. That's what you see. That's what you see with all the top sides. Is like, and even if you don't think, oh, they're amazing, but like the likes of Newcastle and Spurs, the players they've got sitting on their bench, a lot of them would get in our first team.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the difference.
That's the level.
That's the level you've got to get to. Villa. I was watching Villa last night.
Some Forest subs will get in our first team.
I was watching Villa last night and seeing them bringing on Luca Dean, and thinking you would absolutely moonwalk in our team. But the manager knows he's got 2 games.
So would Barkley. He's
got 2 games a week. And he knows he has to be in and out. And the players know that as well. They're not squad players. They are first team players who have to take rotations. So, and the other side about that is, so you don't get to this situation where you've got centre-backs getting injured and you've got this player getting injured or that player getting suspended. Players know they're still going to play 25 games a season without any issue.
I still fume that Idrissa Bam was 3 games. I'm not fuming he got sent off.
I'm still fuming that he got sent off.
No, but I'm just saying,
still think it's
I can't understand. I can't for the life of me understand how that rule can be real. I just don't understand it. And how you can get a 3-game ban for it with your own team. If you were punching 7 bells out of each other, then have like a special hearing where they look at it and go, "You've been awarded a 3-game ban because this is unacceptable." They were having an argument. And he's been given a 3-game ban. And it was a 4-game ban, really, because he was off after 13 minutes. So the advantage has been with everybody else. It's just, you just go.
I'll be honest, I think we should live in a world where all competitions stop for the African nations.
How would we fit all the games in?
We played the World Cup with it. We played the World Cup.
Yeah.
How many African players?
No, that is true.
At what point do we... No, I mean this seriously, right? At what point do we get to where there's so many players from African nations playing in the top 5 leagues in Europe and more, that it becomes an absolute burden on everybody?
Like Sunderland are losing between 7. Is it said 2 are injured, otherwise it'd have been 9.
They still go, won't they?
Well, yeah, but there's 9 in their squad, right?
But it's a genuine point. It's a genuine point,
if Guinea-Bissau would have qualified, better would have gone.
It's a genuine point. If the European Championships were in the winter, because...
Did we stop there?
Did we stop? Because if Europe got so unbearably hot, could happen. To the point where we couldn't play it anymore, and we moved it to the winter. Everything was stopped for, at least the group stages it would.
Yeah,
everything got stopped and then start again. Everything was so. It wouldn't surprise me in the next few years if we stop it and we have a winter break, and they're going to have to fit it in somehow, because we're getting to that point now where there's so many players coming from Africa, and you got to respect the tournaments.
Absolutely, totally agree with you, mate. Totally agree. There's that many. If you just add it up in the Premier, I don't know how many are leaving the Premier League for whatever it is, but say it's 30 players, right, across every team, it probably is.
Yeah.
Then why is it not suspended for, like you said, for at least the group stages?
You suspend like League 1 and League 2 games when they have
and they have like 2 or 3 players or whatever. Yeah. So it is scandalous, like really, but that's the way it is. Graham, I get your point, mate, but we'd be another one down though, wouldn't we?
Who's that?
Graham said, "I wish Guinea-Bissau had qualified."
You don't.
Tazul says, "My fear with Patterson is he limps off after 30 minutes with an injury."
Well, what difference does
but
it
if
make?
he does, then we deal with that, don't we? But
we just deal with it.
Wolves are losing 5 players, says Danny. See, that's unacceptable.
It is, isn't
Sunderland losing 9. I know 7 are fit. 7 players out their squad. Wolves losing 5. David Moyes said to us in America that they had to really think about buying African players because of this. That shouldn't be. African footballers shouldn't be missing out on the opportunity to sign for a Premier League club because they disappear for 7 weeks.
And the thing about it is, right? The thing about it is, and I know there will be people, I can already side-eye them, and the people are like, what, shouldn't have the African nations? Behave. Like, can you imagine playing like the AFCON in the summer? Like,
well, he did do it one year, and it
was ridiculous. Like this World Cup is going to be crazy.
That's going to be walking.
It's going to be. We're going to get to a point soon where people are going to start looking and going, we need to start playing these tournaments in the winter. Otherwise, we need stadiums with like air conditioning like Qatar's, and countries can't afford that. Let's be honest. Unless we decide to have.
But in America, there's 2 or 3. You've got.
Haven't got any, have they?
Well, we were in Atlanta. The reef closes. There's air conditioning.
No, I know, but I'm saying there's loads of places where they haven't.
No, but I'm saying what all they should have done with that US World Cup was gone. But
no, hang on. Sorry. No, don't stop buying.
Tazul, that isn't the answer.
That's not the answer. Every player has the right to play for their national team, and the answer isn't stop buying.
That can never be. African players are unbelievable.
Yeah. So for me, we're going to get to a point soon, and it'll be the same in Europe. Look at. Listen, whether you believe the truth or not,
after all, no.
But it's getting hotter and hotter, and soon we'll be getting to a stage where the summers become unbearable to play football and dangerous to play football.
And play it in the winter,
and they'll play it in the winter. And people accepted when the World Cup. In fact, I really liked it. I fucked off to New York. It was fucking brilliant. I loved it. It was absolutely brilliant. I know that it made the season a little bit more.
I do love summer World Cups.
No, I do.
But if it gets to, you'd either play them indoors, and that's what I can't understand with the US one. There's enough stadiums that could have held games indoor. Or you start building the ones that have got the big air conditioning machines in that fire the cold air.
But ultimately, Africa's just not going to do that.
No, Africa can't afford.
I mean, Algeria's building the biggest stadium in the world for the World Cup in 32. So fair play to them. But for a lot of African nations, and you can't I have heard suggestions in the past where people have gone, yeah, you can have the AFCON, but like play it in Europe. Oh yeah, behave yourself. You know, like that's not how it works, is it? You know, it's supposed to be an economical boost for every country that has it. I mean, we might get to a point where it becomes a drain. I know. Like Olympics and some World Cups are going to, because what's going to happen soon is tournaments as a whole are going to go to less and less places because people can't afford them. We're already starting to see, we were talking about this the other week, weren't we, with like the Commonwealth Games. Yeah. That's becoming so expensive that won't exist in like, I think the next one's in Glasgow, but that won't exist soon because people can't afford.
Glasgow had it before.
No, I know, because they've already got the infrastructure, haven't they? Yeah. So the Olympics is going to get a bit like that soon. You're going to start. I know people said, "Oh, you'll never see London again." You will, because it'll go to less and less places.
It will,
and the World Cup will be the same. They've already said about the Copa America. The Copa America is going to be in America in 2028 because America's the only place that can financially sustain it now. Europe will be the same. It'll only be one of the big 5 countries, I imagine, or it'll be grouped to get like Switzerland, Austria, blah blah blah.
That's the way it is, isn't it?
And Africa will be the same, but. I do find that, like, we should get to that. We'll get to that point soon. And it just is mad that all these players leave. And it's just like, yeah, we carry on. It's a little bit stupid, to be honest.
No, I totally agree. Roman Dixon, I don't know whether he's injured. I don't know, because he doesn't...
Is it one of them videos today? When they record the training ground?
Is he?
He must be around.
One of those training ground videos?
No.
Maybe he's just coming back. I know he got injured. He was supposed to go to Stockport when Tyler Onyango went.
Yeah.
And he got an injury. So maybe he's just returning from an injury.
Videos, where it's like stuff like the NFL or something, they come in and they have just using one of them.
Maybe he just really likes the NFL.
I don't know, but...
Few people have said, why not just play Dibbling? A lot of other clubs would play Tyler Dibbling.
Yeah, I said that the other day.
He's he's £35 million winger.
Yeah.
Why would he not come in?
Maybe you could play Grealish central and Jai on the left.
And Dibbling on the right. And have Alcaraz and G.
Well, maybe the manager might do that. Maybe the manager might go, you know what, this is a great opportunity to actually play Dewsbury Hall. But then it still leaves Alcaraz as the centre midfielder.
I know, but Alcaraz did play number 8 for Southampton. That's where he played. He didn't play off the striker. He played as a number 8, as a central midfield player. That's where he played. Listen, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud there is like, there is opportunity.
But common sense has to prevail here. And Nathan Patterson is a Premier League right back. So surely Nathan Patterson just plays right back. Because you can have all of these square peg round holes or whatever, but surely just having Nathan Patterson at right back for at least an hour is the most sensible thing you can think of. That surely, like, you know, that just makes common sense. As I said, players have got to be ready, haven't they? Or maybe the manager looked at the situation and went, well, I won't risk him on Tuesday night for the eventuality that he might have to play on Saturday.
This is the thing, isn't it? Like you just said, you've got a right back. You've got a right back who has played in the Premier League a number of times. He's been capped by Scotland. In his mind, he'll still think the World Cup's a possibility. It probably isn't, but he'll still think it is. But Scotland aren't blessed with tons of players, are they? So, and if he got, I'm not saying at Everton because it seems unlikely he'll get in and stay in, but who knows? But he'll be looking for thingy, won't he? Won't he be looking ahead to January and thinking, I want to go on loan? If I can show people I'm fit now, then someone might come for me in January. He was very close to going out the door in August, albeit he was injured, but he's fit again now. And it probably would make sense just to play Patterson because he's done it. But it is just slightly mad that when we've got a £35 million winger who played 33 Premier League games last season, that we're looking and sort of going, well, he isn't even coming into contention. And yet someone who the manager is quite prepared to let leave is going to be playing.
It would be, I know Moyes got asked the question a couple of weeks ago and he was very calm on Tyler Dibblin. And I do think we all should be quite calm on Tyler Dibblin. He's 19. The money we've bought him for is because he's 19 and you're buying a player that could be getting 10 years out of. He was very late. He actually said he didn't think the money we paid for him was that much.
Well, it isn't nowadays,
so,
is it?
But I suppose it's that thing of like, and I wonder if anyone will ask the question tomorrow, is like, has he developed the way he expected him to develop? Therefore, was the plan always to leave him?
Just go slowly.
Or has he hit setbacks? Starting at Crystal Palace, obviously clearly wasn't impressed by him. Or, what is it just a development thing? The same as it is like Asnu. I know they're very different. The prices are very different. It'd be interesting to just get that take from him and find out, where he is. Because I think there's a lot of us, I think people who people who watch this every single day sort of think who are always sort of wanting to keep up with it. I think they'll understand that. But I do think there's a lot of other people who just be thinking, who maybe don't follow as closely, thinking, pay 40 odd million for a player and he's not playing. He's only played 75 minutes. And the thing about it is, Emmett, I don't think he is a bench war. I don't think that's the way to look at it, though. I don't think you can buy a player and go, well, he has to play just because we paid 40 million for him or whatever. I think it has to be a case of, if he's not ready to start, then he's just not ready to start. And did they always feel that way? Did they always feel like he had to get bigger, develop, get stronger, impress in training? Have they bought? They obviously didn't buy a ready cooked player. They obviously knew he was going to have to develop. But I don't think you should look at him as he's too expensive to sit on the bench. I don't think that's the kind of pressure we should be putting on players, because I just think football, the market of football now, is when you're buying younger players, especially when it's someone else's. I was listening to Rooney the other day, and Rooney was talking about when Everton sold him, and he said, Chelsea wanted me, but they wanted to send me to Middlesbrough. When we knew that anyway, I think he said that on ours. But he said it again the other day. And he was like, I was never doing that. And then he was like, so I almost went to Newcastle, but I wanted Man United. And it's like, even going back to Rooney, Chelsea wanted him, but yet we were prepared to wanted to put him on loan because they didn't feel like they needed him. And Man United at first wanted him to stay at Everton for a year, because they didn't think he was ready. And yet in his first game, he plays Champions League game, scores a hat-trick.
So why the hell didn't he just give us some back for a year?
But he didn't want that though. Rooney said he wanted to.
If he was going,
and that was the end of it because he thought he was good enough. So with Dibbling, it's just a case of, we have to trust the club, and the money we've paid for him shouldn't really... We have to get used... Look at Chelsea. Chelsea are now stacking players. Chelsea have another club and are buying players through... Not even through clubs now. They're buying them through whatever that other...
Strasbourg.
No, the other blue...
Blue Clear.
No, it's called Blue something. And they're buying them, and then...
Blue Lake? No, Clear Lake.
Yeah,
Clear Lake.
Isn't that not what you're peeling to find? Like,
no, that was Clear Blue, wasn't
it? They're buying players, and they're sticking them...
Can't even remember.
They're buying players, and they're not even loaning them to Strasbourg. No. They're going to Strasbourg, and then they're going on loan. And it's like, to get around PSR, it's like, this is just how the world works now. We have to get used to the idea of maybe paying big money for a player and he doesn't play for a year. That's just the way it is. City have been doing this for a while. Players don't instantly come into your team if they're not ready, just because you paid a lot of money for them. And I think if Diblin's not ready, he's not ready. Let's not say, oh, well, what did we buy him for? And let's not say he's too expensive to go into the team. If he's not ready, and yet Everton think he's ready in a year's time, what Everton have essentially done is,
Blue Colour, Clear Lake Capital.
They've looked at it and gone, we want this player. And it's exactly the same as like Harrison Armstrong. You stick them on loan to develop them, like him. Now haven't stuck him on loan, clearly. We've just got him training every single day. Now, who's to say that the minute Njai goes, he comes in the team and suddenly he's like, and we all go, oh, he looks good. And that's because we haven't put pressure on. Every day he's trained. The manager just doesn't think he's ready yet. And that's... The manager might be also... He said the other day, we're almost at the points tally where I'm looking forward and not looking over our shoulder. Who's to say as soon as he hits that points tally, that could be Saturday if we were to win, that the manager suddenly goes, right, I'm fine now. Let's play Dibbling, because whatever happens, it happens. I think we have to take the pressure off certain players when there's a better player playing ahead of them. And that's definitely the case for Dibbling, because if he's not ready to be in the team, he's just not ready to be in the team.
Yeah, that's the way it is, isn't it? They bought Strasbourg for 65 million.
Yeah. It's mad.
What a team.
We were saying this 10 years ago.
Go and buy a club now.
No, put money into Cannes.
But they're not going to, though.
But why not?
John were talking about them the other day. They're a National League team.
But the 4th division.
I know, but it's National League.
It's France.
I know, but it's National League.
I know, but it's only
like Bayern, like Dagenham and Redbridge.
But it's only the 4th division. If you were to put money into them, they'd be up in. Put it this way, right? You could put money into them, like say 50 million, and they'd be in the French first division in 3 years. Where you might
should be, yeah.
Whereas if you put money, you'd have to buy someone else, and it might cost you an absolute fortune. Do it either way, but we should
do it.
We should have done this. Michele should have done this 10 years ago.
Well, he was looking at an MLS club, which is
he was looking at Belgian clubs and everything.
But they never done it. But CFG, absolutely. Well, yeah, they already own AS Cannes, isn't it?
Yeah.
They already own them. So go and put some money in, put a proper manager in, put some money in and just back them and get them up.
Because it just seems like a project to just get his lad understanding how to run football clubs.
You just do it, and you've also got players at Roma who go there now, exactly. And players at Everton who go there and build the club.
Make it a club that Everton players and Roma younger players can go on loan to, but it's a level where they're going to be tested.
But this seems too simple. Andrew E. Little on the Super Chat, thank you, mate, says, has Dibbling done a Zaha? Zaha never recovered. No, I don't think so. I think Zaha was established at Palace before he went to United. And then that was a huge move. And obviously he never got a go, did he, really? Ironically, under David Moyes as well. But no, I think it's a bit early to say all that.
We're not that for Roma. Why would we be that for Roma?
What?
Someone said, what if we are that for Roma?
We're not, though, are we? We're bigger than Roma, as in where the league is. the Premier League, where it sits, not Everton per se, where the Premier League sits, is ahead of Serie A and always will be. So, and the 2 different companies own them. So, I mean, I hope we do go and take Manu Kone from Roma, but that's not where Everton are in the thing with them. Steve P says a real Sophie's choice. That one, I don't want to see either of them start for us again, to be honest. They should be getting moved on as soon as the window opens. But if I really had to, then it would be Patterson. Jake Ablett says, of all the games to play Patterson, this is definitely the one.
Yeah.
Saying if he play, score and go and do the slap in front of Moyes, like stand where Dyche can see it and all slap him.
Yeah.
Phil Williams says Patterson by a mile, just for him to show Dyche he's going to be well up for it. Nathan Wilson says neither, start a kid. Looking at the squad though, I guess kids? I'd rather keep Garner at right back and put McNeil somewhere in midfield. Patterson isn't useful going either way. Interesting. Derek says it's obvious he doesn't trust Patterson, so it looks like McNeil, but the obvious solution would be Patterson and Garner back in midfield. Blue Jay says I'd probably play Patterson, at least he is a right back. Makes more sense to me. I've said it before and I'll say it again, McNeil's most suited position is on Crosby Beach.
To me, right, this is not even an argument about McNeil. This is an argument with Alcaraz. If I'm honest, this is having the idea of having Dewsbury Hall and Alcaraz as our centre midfielders.
But you're up against Elliot Anderson and Ibrahim Sangari, who 3 defensive midfield players.
No, I know, but I think
it's whether Gibbs White plays.
Alcaraz he picks up the ball.
No, he wants to
go forward, and I just don't think that's going to work. That's why I'd rather have Garner and Dewsbury Hall being busy in the centre of the park. I think we can get away with if Patterson is just his job is just to defend. Then I think we can get away with that.
Who's he up against? Hudson-Odoi?
No, Hudson-Odoi's been playing central, hasn't he? Not Hudson-Odoi, sorry. It was Tingo.
Dan and Doy's played central.
He played Tingo last night, and Doy played wide last night.
So it was Dan and
Gibbs White played central, and Hutchinson played the other side.
Harry Hutchinson last night.
So in Doy, but that could change at the weekend, of course. He'd be playing against pace, but at least he knows what he's up against. And that to me, it's not just a case. It's a case of, see, for me, if Dwight McNeil played, I'd still look at it and go, he wouldn't be the highest player, because I'd still want Alcaraz to be the highest. I just don't trust Alcaraz to play deeper.
Okay,
that's all it is. It's
just Blue. And I've done that one. Colin says, "Oh God, it's probably going to be McNeil." Cooper's Tours says, "Could you see Michalenko right back and Asnu left back?" No. Nope. Steven Segerberg says, would 3 at the back be an option to push Miko to centre back? But then you're playing it.
No.
You're changing everything, aren't you? Steve P says, Baz, it wasn't because he wasn't quick enough. It was because he didn't work hard enough and wasn't good enough pressing, tackling wise. That's why Dyche moved him to the wing. He's quicker as a centre mid than a winger. Okay. I don't know. Josh says, I do not think either of them have 90 minutes in them. Pato to start, and Dyche will probably slap him and get a red. Then Jimmy the Green Thumb Gardner can slot in at right back if Pato's horrendous. Then McNeil comes on to close it out. Okay. Jake Ablett says, the Holy Night Christmas jumper just arrived, lads. Is right. Enjoy it, mate. Mike Barrett says, I think Peg could do a much better job than McNeil, and actually looks like he wants to be there.
I've got a bit of a sore knee at the moment, though, so I'm not sure.
Brien says it's concerning when we have 2 keepers on the bench, but I'm more worried about us having 2 keepers on the pitch due to all the injuries and suspensions. No thanks, Brian. Mark says Patterson should have got minutes versus Madrid yesterday, really.
But what if he got injured?
Yeah. Andy Kinghorn says, would you rather be shot or stabbed? Neither of them have suggested they can make a really meaningful contribution in Premier League football. Mark says the logic could be a right back at right back.
Yeah.
What will actually happen is Keane will get injected up and O'Brien will be back in no man's land.
It's a groin injury apparently, so you
can't get an injection for that. Rob Williams says the logic thing is to play Patterson in his position. But what has logic got to do with it when you're talking about Everton?
That's literally what Tina Turner said.
Brian Ball says, is Hammer still a free agent? He is. Can we get him registered by Saturday?
Not
Probably,
right
but he
back.
probably wouldn't be fit and he probably couldn't play right back. Yes, Jake, I'd have Dylan Bachwer, who they don't play, from Forest. I'd like Dan and Doy. We should have bought him before he went there, to be honest. Derek says, Derek Lower Bullen says, Garner's on 4 bookings to get his suspension out of the way. Does he get booked against Forest? Adrissa and Tim are available for Chelsea, and then Garner is available over Christmas.
No, I don't think it can work like that.
Mm.
I just don't think it can work like that. I think,
Michael Kearney, no, because it'd just be too hot to play the AFCON the same time as the Euros, mate. They tried that, I think, and it just didn't work. It was too hot. Robert Jones says, afternoon, gents. AFCON is yet another thing that benefits the big teams because they all have squads to deal with it. He also says, do you not think Dibbling will get a start drop Alcaraz next to Dewsbury Hall? I thought Patterson was injured. No, Patterson's back. No. Stuart Lowe says, it blows my mind that Patterson has no other right back competition yet isn't fighting to be the first choice.
Mm.
He says Roman Dixon, perhaps.
No.
Devil's advocate. Well, he's not even in the under-21 squad last night.
No.
So,
No.
Stephen Strong says, what's happening with Harrison Armstrong? He was a constant pick and seemed
Got injured.
to be not getting it. He's got a groin injury.
Yeah. Finney played last night for the under-21s at right back.
Put in a great cross as well for Omari Benjamin, who almost equalised last sort of 89th minute, I think it was. Steve P says, by the way, on Anthony Robinson, he's the 6th fastest player in Europe this season, ahead of Alanga and Haaland. Linked with Everton the other day, of course, wasn't he? Yeah. It's a tough one. The poll so far has had, let's have a look, 300 odd votes, despite 750 watching. Just go and vote. It takes 1 second. You go one or the other. Just press it now. But 62% of the votes have gone for Nathan Patterson to play instead of Dwight McNeil. If you're one of the 350 who haven't pressed the vote for the poll, A, why not? Takes 1 second. And B, then if you're thinking Dwight McNeil, then you're in the minority. If you want Dwight McNeil to play, then go and vote. It's as simple as that, really. Dang Blue 1878 says Mcneil just seems too slow and off it these days, but I guess he's been out of full 90 action for a while. Gary Amsterdam says, to those championing McNeil, who's going to be dropped to accommodate him? Well, no one really.
No one, because Zena Boom's not available.
Alcoholic Anonymous says they'd drop Grealish to start him. Some people.
I do think that some, not saying anyone watching this, of course, I do think some people have like a weird sort of Mandela effect sort of thing going on with Dwight McNeil and think maybe he's something he's not. I don't get it. But that's me. I've never quite got the love. He's not been any, when people are like, oh, he come on and he doesn't really, I was like, that's been his entire Everton career.
He scored a few goals and he got some assists because he takes corners and free kicks. He's got a lovely left foot. It just doesn't suit us. But then those people probably the ones that will tell you Dyke's done a good job. So nobody will. There was ones who have a go at Moyes now, who is just like in a different universe than Sean Dyche ever was. And yet they'll have a go at Moyes but protected Dyche. So it is odd, but everyone sees the game differently, don't they? So John McCulloch says, Baz, what do you think of El Karouni from Utrecht? Plays left back but is right foot. My only problem with him, John, is right footed left backs. I just don't like them. I think the game has gone on so much. You've got to be able to go on the outside and get balls into the box. If you go on the outside and you've got to check back all the time to put a cross in, then you run inside the fullback's gone, hasn't it? It's sort of wasted because everything is split second. I think if you play them on the right, then He's creative, but I just like my fullbacks have got to be the side they're on. I think personally, but doesn't mean he's not a good player. Oh yeah, Liam says the McNeil hate is crazy. He's more than capable squad player. And Alcoholic Anonymous says I can't stand McNeil. Worship Everton fans worship the most ordinary Everton player I've ever seen. Listen, Dwight McNeil has scored some cracking goals for Everton and has had some good games for Everton. So he's a squad player. That's what he is. No shame in that. It's in the Premier League. So, but the problem is, what we're saying is you're having to play. If you're talking about playing Dwight McNeil off the striker in that pocket, then fine. That's where I think he's at his best. But we're not talking about that because there's other players who can play there. We're talking about putting him in almost a defensive holding role, which when you've got James Garner there who does that, that's 6, and you've got Nathan Patterson who is a right back, then are you being unfair on McNeil, who's not been playing, to go and play in that midfield and play in that role that you're unfamiliar with? And then maybe struggle, maybe. Could be great, I don't know, but maybe struggle. And then everyone's on him again. If you're gonna give him a chance, play him in the pocket off the striker or put him on the left wing. But the manager's not going to do that. So that's why it makes sort of more sense to play Nathan Patterson at right back because he's a right back. But we'll see. Moyes might surprise everyone and put...
Is there a world where Dwight McNeil and Patterson play on Saturday?
No.
And Alcaraz is on the bench?
No. There couldn't possibly be that world. Well, if it is, then he's just lost his mind. Because Alcaraz is by far Everton's most attacking midfield player. Oh. And got an assist the other night. So, we'll see. Jack says, don't think McNeil gives us much defensively. He's too slow. But yeah.
Craig, I'm starting to think you're just a bot. I'm starting to think you're a bot, genuinely. Because some of the things you come out, talk about every day are just so bizarre. That comment you just left there is just...
About Dyche?
It's just so bizarre.
Why did you never watch a Dyche Everton game, Craig? Or have you...
So you're saying for 2.5 years or whatever it was, you didn't watch an Everton game?
Maybe he hates Dyche.
I just think honestly, I think he's a bot.
He's not a bot. He's on every day. But
that doesn't mean he's not a bot.
But that's a... Mate, he was terrible for Everton. He done well at first, but even that, he took us to the last day. And then he was up and down in his second season and probably should have left the club because he went 4 months without winning a game. And then he won some games, but he should have shook hands at the end of that season and gone. And then the last season, the first half of the season, he was diabolical. 3 wins in 19 games. You bored?
No, something just popped up on my phone. I was looking for the comments.
So yeah, that's why. He hasn't exactly pulled up any trees for Forest, by the way. He had a great result at Anfield against the run of play, but he still had to do it. Fair play to him. But it's one of them, mate. It's one of them. Other people, there's a certain section who love them, so fair play. Fair play. Each to their own, isn't it? Each to their own. Crimson says, I envy Craig if he never saw us play a game under Dyche.
Craig, I can't understand how you can be on here every single day and not have watched a single Everton game under Sean Dyche.
Maybe he was
I just don't get it. He said something the other day and it was just like...
Maybe he's in a different... He was somewhere else and he couldn't watch the games. I don't know. Or he might have been working. I don't know.
India in his Boff factory.
Kieran said back 4 has to be the same as Monday. No changes, even if Keane is fit. Same again, Mr. Moyes. It wouldn't be though, would it? If Keane was fit, O'Brien would go to right back because Garner would play midfield because we're so light. Georgie Redmond says, I'd rather see Jake O'Brien right wing instead of Dwight McNeil. Fair play. Well, we'll see. The manager's press conference is tomorrow. He'll give us an update, obviously, on Michael Keane. Don't think anyone else would have a chance at Coleman. No. Couldn't see being involved. Obviously, Merlin Roll won't be. There's nobody else, is there? Because the others are suspended, aren't they? So, yeah, Branthwaite, no. He was in Dubai last week, still working on the deal.
He's February, isn't he? No, I'm just saying he's January, February. I'm fit. More putting an extra month on it because it's Everton. It's Everton month, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
But I'm hoping Roll is back quicker than they thought. Certainly for Burnley away and Forest away. I'd like to think he might be available then. That's still three weeks away, bit more than 3 weeks away. I'd like to think he's got a chance for those 2 games to be back in the squad. Because that means, if he is, then that means we'd have Garner back for Chelsea, then the Arsenal game, we'll obviously have to patch it up, but then we might have some options again then, come Burnley and Forest, if Roll's back in contention as well, of course. But there you go. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Evertonian Lucas put a super chat in. He says, is there a world where we go 4-4-2 with Beto and Barry together and Alcaraz in over McNeil?
They could, but
make us lightweight midfield.
It would. We'd have to almost just go 2 banks of 4. But then that's one way to combat being caught out all over the pitch. But then, how do you get Grealish higher up the pitch and Jai starting from deeper? But who knows? Who knows? Because you just don't know, do you?
No.
Anything could happen.
It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. You just got to take it game by game and hope that players come back. Obviously, suspensions and they all start coming back into the side, and we just play it by ear, basically. That's all we can do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all. Exactly.
It is really just one game at a time. There's no point starting to have starting to think, oh, well, this game and that game. We know what the squad is. We know what's going on. So.
Who knows? But let's see. Anyway, that's us done. Make sure you check out the match preview. It'll be out later. Otherwise, have a good day. See you all later. Bye.